Uh, yeah. So, really curious. There he is. Okay. Okay. Uh, um. So, what is it that we're gonna be doing today? Well, I also have a bloody nose, and I'm gonna be consuming a lot of caffeine today. Right? Because like the air is super dry today. I haven't had a bloody nose in a while. But I will be do 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 do. Huh. Ugh. Come on. Phone, you got this. Alright. So what exactly was it that we wanted to do? Um, yeah, we also want this. Could be interesting. I don't know if I want the proc gen or not. I could do camera. Yeah, I could do the camera. Because like I think I already have access to the where is it? Ray org is equal to ray player pause ray direction SUV. STW1, right? I think. STW1. Wait. Transpose Y? Transpose yeah? Is that it? Because I should be able to... No. I think I want the full thing. So, player pause minus transpose uh X, Z, Y. The Y. So 1. I did index 1. Should be minus STW minus STW1 times 0.1. I think this is it. God fuck damn it. Uniform 2-component vector of float and height and a right operand of yada. I don't want that there, I want it over here. Minus STW times 0. Really struggling today. That actually feels really fucking good already. Let's do something a little bit more extreme. I can also do like a T-val. Because I think a test val is going to be... Because, like, there's a few things that I want to do. Right? There are a few to-dos for today. One is effectively, like, I want to start setting up a couple of dials. Right? Because I want players to be able to, I want my QA to be able to play around with these values and stuff, right? So, for one, I don't know if I like I might switch to a different noise evaluator, right? largely because I'm not so sure that I like how this one functions. Um, right? Because I don't know if I like how it works, right? Namely, like I don't know if I like the like the wibbly wobbly come for that booty. I don't like the shape of the curve, right? I would like it more if it was guaranteed to be something, right? God, I'm tired. Fucking hell, dude. I know that the derivative of the the integral of 1 over x is log x is ln x, right? So I know that depending on what side of the argument, right? Because there's the biggest thing that I don't like is the fact that the area under that curve is very noticeably incorrect, right? I must have alpha. I must have the integral from 0 to 1 equal alpha. That is a very strict constraint, right? We have alpha and epsilon. It is a very strict constraint that the integral of f of x between 0 and 1 is equal to alpha for all values of epsilon from 0 to 1, right? The outputs of f of x, right? Because alpha, x, and epsilon are all going to be it is an assertion that alpha, epsilon, and x are from 0 to 1, right? This is an input constraint. We also know that the output can be from minus infinity to infinity, but the expected outcome is going to be from 0 to 1, right? But the output is not a strict constraint. Right? We are allowed the output of f of x to be basically whatever between that interval, right? Because we can just clamp it, right? It's just that as long as after clamping, the area must be constrained. So it's more important to say that the what is it? I cannot fucking think, dude. Yeah. Anyway. So this feels like it's a bit much. I mean, that's also kind of nice, though. But I think this is a bit much. So, because I really like real-time dials. I think what I'm going to do is actually change it to WESD. WASD. WASD. I think tab is more natural for releasing the mouse. Either that or maybe E. I don't know, E. Also, there is... Yeah, I also still need to figure out what the hell with... I think I have a terminal browser. I mean, I should also have browse 6, right? Clear app search raw pixel, I think. Because I think Browse Sixel is good. Really? Fucking hell. Um... Is that it? Alright. Yeah, I don't know what kind of, terminal browser I have. I don't know. Because I'd really like to have one, right? Because it'd be really nice if I could, do... I think this is probably a sweet spot. Maybe 2.5? I'm at approximately 1/8. Alright. Um... Because like a big part of it is being able to dial in that feel. Right? And these are all things that that you know you don't see until ooh. Yeah. Okay. This is pretty sexy. Alright, yeah. See, you see how close that looks? How harsh of a fall off that is? I really don't fucking like it. Right? I mean, I might just do 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? I might do like a WASD. Tab is full screen. I mean, I also need to. I mean, the big reason why I wanted to use a good, have a good, yeah, I'm gonna look up a fucking thing there. Linux terminal web browser JS support. Chawan. Thanks. I mean, there was like a browse sixel. Carbonel. Chobon. Yeah, because there's like a Bro Sixel. I mean, DB3M. God fucking damn it, dude. Alright, so I think I like the 2.5. Your fully featureable graphical browser that runs entirely within a terminal by using Sixel or Kitty graphics protocol. Yeah. So okay. Oh, hello, Diminished. I didn't see you there. How you been? How you doing? Thank you. I think I'm gonna look into other. I think I'm gonna look into some terminal web browsers for my next stream, and for my next trick. But yeah. So I think it. Yeah, because there's like a few things chilling at work. Yeah, I get you. I feel that. Yeah, so I don't really like this. I don't like this fall off. This fall off looks like shit to me because it's not. So I'll show you what I mean, right? Because if I do noise 1, right? Shit. Let's do could do that, right? So this, if I turn it off and on, this looks much more. This looks brighter, right? The gamma is a little bit brighter than expected, right? For this one, the gamma is brighter, but like it's both brighter and more accurate than the other one, right? That's fine. And then if I do here, this looks almost completely unchanged. Again, it's a little bit bright, right? So how do I go from this to smoothly interpolating between I mean, I could do so. Okay. Interesting. Because I really don't want to do quite all this stuff. My shit's gonna fucking explode, so. What do you mean by keep chatting with Claude? Excuse me? I've just started today. Yeah, I can't, I cannot reliably deal with, fucking doing that shit. That sucks. Alright. That's fucking cool. This is why I want a fucking terminal browser. So I'm gonna have to use something. So, what exactly am I going to be doing? So, the current setup. Hmm. Hmm. So, what? Yeah, because it's like one minus 1 over x. I'm hanging in there. I mean, it's been kind of rough the past couple of days, but I'm hanging in there. Some good days, some bad days. Mostly bad days lately, but it is what it is. Yeah. Let's raise this up. Yeah. Ba 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 da ba. So we could do this. Actually do shit properly. So we want 1 minus 1 over x, right? But we actually want 1 minus because like it's like a over x, all right, something along these lines, because we want to assert that the integral from 0 to 1 of the clamp of f of x alpha epsilon dx is equal to alpha for all x alpha epsilon between 0. Right? Like, this is what we want. Like, this is an assertion that we want to make. Right. Oh, helps if I Yeah. Zero, one. Alright. Alright, like this is what we want. This is the first axiom. Alright. Currently noise 3 does not do that. Alright. So we currently have 3 values. We have 3 functions. We have 3 functions that do this. Okay. Alright, this is the most important axiom. So f1 of x is equal to alpha. F2 of x alpha is equal to right. Is equal to x to the power of 1 minus alpha on alpha. Actually, 1 minus alpha over alpha. Okay. And just shrink that shit. Move it. So now we need to have an f3 of x alpha is equal to f3 of alpha, f1 of x alpha is equal to alpha. f2 of x alpha is equal to x 1 minus alpha alpha. Right? And then f3 of x alpha is going to be equal to literally x greater than alpha. So let me find out why the fuck my shit was fucking blowing up. Why am I getting so goddamn many notifications? Come on. Come on, fingerprint scanner. Oh my fucking god. Yo! Pair. So these are the ones that we want to approach, right? Because we want to have right, and we know that when alpha is 0.5, we know because there are some axioms, right? These are the axioms, right? We know that f of xa, yeah, the axiom 1 is this. Axiom 2 right, we currently have this one. Right. This is no dithering. Right? This is no dither. This is 1. Dither. And this is somewhere in between, right? So we could do a few things. Because I would expect the derivative in the interval from 0 to 1 of whatever the function is to be the same for alpha is equal to when alpha is equal to 0.5. I feel like the derivative should be flat for all values of x and epsilon. The derivative for alpha should be the derivative of that over that interval should be effectively flat for all values, right? And I think the way that we could kind of achieve this is because if we have something like this, right? And we have a hyperbola, right? We have a hyperbola, right? And we say that it's like something along these lines, right? We can do something along these lines, right? Because if we know that everything under here is going to be, you know, our stuff, then we can kind of move this window around, right, to accommodate. And that's kind of like what we want to do, you know. We have something along these lines, right? Then, because if we can get everything under this curve, then we can effectively slice it in such a way that, right, because we can slice this. Because like this is what we want to see. So on one side, right, when the entropy is high, right, this is when entropy is high. We have something like this, right? When entropy is somewhere in the middle, we have it, you know, something like this. And then when entropy is very low, we have something like that, right? But we also have the other side, right? And we also still have this part here, right? And we still have the same thing here, right? When entropy is low, it's over here. When entropy is high, it's over here. And we have something somewhere in the middle over here. So if we want to do something with the hyperbola, then we can have the base hyperbola of 1 minus, or just we have the base hyperbola of minus 1 over x, right? This is our base. Right? This is our base. All right. So, right, like this is our base. This is what we want to maintain. And then we can modify, effectively we can modify the scale of this input window and its location depending on where epsilon is. So the core thing is that we want to make sure that, you know, so we can scale this by alpha. We can scale the input by some asymptotic bullshit based off of alpha, right? Because when alpha is yeah, we can scale this like it's when alpha is equal to 0.5, we want the input to be 0, right? Right. We want the size of this input window to be 0. We can also do... Yeah, I'm gonna... Yeah, I'm gonna go into Gemini. Oh, right, Gemini doesn't fucking work properly. Because I literally can't enter shit. Like, it's so fucking stupid. Alright. Yeah, because I can't... That's your thinking. And, yeah, because I can't... I don't... I just... Yeah, because I can't fucking... I need a formula, f of x alpha epsilon, such that the integral from 0 to 1 of the function clamped between 0 and 1 in dx is equal to alpha for all x alpha and epsilon, such that they are bound between 0 and 1. Triviality in the particle translation, which is like epsilon. Yeah, I mean, you could do that. Right. See, but here's the thing. Right. Okay. Okay. So I need to formulate a function. The first axiom is that the integral between the interval of 0 and 1 of the clamp function is, in reference to x, is equal to a for all values x, alpha, and epsilon. That is the first axiom, and that is the most important axiom. Axiom 2 is that as epsilon approaches 0, f of x alpha should also approach alpha. Axiom 3 is that as epsilon approaches 1, f of x alpha should approach x greater than alpha. Re. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Greater than 1 minus alpha. Yeah. Okay, yeah. That is the first good catch. Uh, yeah, except for the fact. What the fuck is the head sidestep function? Hmm? Nande. The head sidestep function. You just lerp on lerp on lerp on lerp. Yeah, but I don't necessarily want that. Right? Like, I don't think this is gonna work the way that I expect it to. Right? I mean, because I would expect it to be some kind of transformation of the function minus 1 over x, right? That takes alpha and epsilon as parameters. That's what I would expect it to be. Right. I would expect it to be, yeah, but I would expect it would expect the function to be some summation of minus 1 over x that constrains the sample window via What, alpha? Yeah, via alpha. Alright. So when alpha is 0.5, the window size is 0, but is moved along the function by using Alright. So using a hyperbolic, if we use a hyperbolic function for this, it should be a lot easier to formulate something that's different, right? Alright, because like there's, because this is, like, I don't necessarily need it to be mathematically pure, I just need it to be computationally pure, right? Because there's a lot of yeah, I mean it's fine if it's over that, right? Yeah, no, like it is a clamp, right? The flat line and a step. Yeah, like it's fine if it's greater than 1 minus a. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, so it's more what the fuck is the function? Clamp absolute value. Let's find out. Because I don't think, I mean, I think, what the, helps if I don't keep my pen on my tablet. So, noise for in float x and vec read alpha in float epsilon. So here we have alpha plus x minus 1 point minus alpha times epsilon divided by the entire quantity of 1 dot minus epsilon plus epsilon times the absolute value of x minus 1 dot minus alpha zero 1 dot. Alright, let's find out if I fucked something up. I probably did. Okay, cool. Oh. And it's still uber fucking dark. Nande. And not nearly as step-worthy as I was expecting it to be. So this is really fucking weird, dog. Yo, brother. Yeah, I do need it to be because these things, right? Like, it's really... Why it's so dark? I don't want it to be so dark. Fuck my life, dude. How's it going, dude? I mean, what if I just do... x less than alpha is the same as x greater than 1 minus alpha. Right? That is, these are equivalent things. Okay. Noise 5 in float x in vec3 alpha in float epsilon. Okay. So, what do we do? Vec3 color 1 is equal to a vec3 of x greater than um, 1 dot minus alpha, right? Vec3 call 2 is equal to a vec3 alpha, right? And then we do a return mix, color 1, well, color 2, color 1, call 1, epsilon. All right. See if I fuck shit up. Okay. Okay. Right. Motherfucker! And right hand operation. Fucking son of a bitch. I can't do. Right. I could do a step function though. Alright, because I could do. Step. What was it? X alpha? I have no idea how to use a step function. Oh! Did I seriously just fix it? Like, it's not, like, perfect, but that's pretty damn fucking perfect. I mean, that's pretty damn good. Because, like, yeah. Because it's linearly interpolating between doing the crazy shit and whether or not it is 1 when it's greater than less. God fucking damn it, dog. Brother. So this is literally the behavior that I want. That's cool. I feel great. Except that is like way too fucking noisy. Nande. 1 minus alpha. Yeah. I think that's proper one. Oh! Interesting. That's kind of really cool, though. I'm not gonna lie. That looks fucking sweet. Oh, that's cool. It's not what I want. But this is really fucking cool. This is some fucking Silent Hill ass shit, dog. Like, this is cool. I like this. This is neat. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, that's interesting. Then isn't it like X? Right. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. X3. Alright. Nande. Vectory. Okay. This is proper, I do believe. So, yeah, we have the fall off, which is really just like brightness, right? Because I can bring this in to like a 5, a 1.5, and I think 1.5 is like a really good one. And then I can just make the distance, this fogginess distance, to be like, and I really like the looking around. Right. I like the way that feels because it makes it feel like when you're looking to the right. It gives you a sense of a little bit more visibility, right? And in a spooky game, you kind of want that, right? It would also be really cool to do some other funky, wonky bullshit with doing some other garbo to the But the fact that this is now basically like this is like an accurate representation of what we want underneath, which is good. Das ist gut. Das ist gut. Das ist gut. Das ist übergut. Yeah. So yeah, that's literally what the precise thing that we want, right? We can still do destroy my frame rate. Because this runs like fucking dog shit on this machine. Right. Like, it is struggling. And this looks like fucking hogwash. Oh! Oh, I am at 1.82 frames per second, dog. Like, yo. Yeah, this looks like shit. Yeah, so let's not do that. Right. So the frames and oh, that's super cool. That's really nice. I can make the alright, like I can do some other really cool stuff. Like I can get the N fall off NFO, right? The NFO, because I could set the NFO to be, you know, some other stuff, right? Oh shit. Keep forgetting that I can't just do Control S. Right? Like, this is way harsher. Right? I mean, this is really bad. I don't like that. So what I could do is I can say clamp. Because what I could do is I could have like a set radius around, a set distance around the player. Just eyeball. Right? That is safe. Alright. Because because I could also do, because there's like a bunch of different kinds of curves that we can, right? Because I think 3 is like a good one. Uh-huh. Right, yeah. Alright. Yeah, because I could do this. The jump list is really nice, right? Because I could just do something like this, right? And then I can go that, right? That's super nice. I am gonna have to start using that a lot more. Like, I need to just use Helix properly, and like I would really love to use Cocoon, but getting Cocoon to have the same features that I use the most in things like NeoVim and Helix, it'd be a massive pain in the fucking ass, right? Like, I like Helix because, not because it's me, everything's fucking made in Rust and it dog shit, yo. Like, it fucking sucks. I hate Rust. Rust is such a fucking bullshit fucking language. Ah! Just fucking AI bros love Rust so much because you can get away with fucking everything. It's so strict that AI can't fuck it up. Which I guess is nice, but still, like, yo, like, actually learn to fucking code for once. You know? How about actually learn some fucking computer science? Everyone just wants to be lazy as shit. Oh, what can I get away with? Oh, I just want to sit and just, you know... Fucking no wonder vibe coding is so popular. Oh. And Common Core Math is the most fucking bullshit, dog shit ass fucking bullshit ever. It's so fucking stupid. Anyone that teaches Common Core Math, whoever came up with Common Core Math needs to have their teeth knocked down their fucking throats. It is the most bullshit, dog shit ass fucking excuse of education. It is an insult to education. God fuck damn. Okay, so we have a crazy cool fucking... I don't know. Like, it would be nice if, like, the values had more... Like, I don't even know what this actually looks like, right? Because I can set this down to, like, a 1.5 now. So that's not quite as bright. Maybe even a 1. It's like one looks good, right? Like one looks fine. A distance, like a radius of 1 is like pretty damn good. You know, like this looks fucking creepy, dog. Like this looks creepy, yo. So, you know. So the major question because I want it to be like super spoopy and shit. I want that. I mean, there's like a lot of. I mean, what I should do is create a debug. Is create a dev panel, right? I should create a dev panel. I should create a dev panel that you can just, you know, apply. I should also change it to WASD. Alright. I should also link into the full screen, like properly. Instead of it like that, because I need to hook into I do want to create a dev panel. Right. Because I want to have a dev panel that does the so like I make it WASD, I go WASD. Let's make it WASD. Alright, let's make it WASD. WASD. I don't like WASD because like my hands are on the home row. Right? my hands are on the home row, and I just, I launch shit, and my hands are already on on ESDF, right? I don't like moving shit over. Like ESDF is just superior. It's just a better keybinds. It really is. But so let's do W S D A, and then I do W S D A, S. Oh wait, A D. I can do that. I want tab to actually be the that, and instead of W, I make it be E. Right. I can do tab toggle maximized. I don't mind having, because I think tab should be the dev. Should be dev, right? I also would like to change the right. Can I like clear my fucking jump list? Alright, because like that's something that I would like to do. What is it that I want? I want like text. Yeah, I text. So I say W A WASD, escape quit, battle toggle static, tab maximize. This is actually a E cursor. Right. So we have something that's a little bit more common, because we can bump this all the way down to 1. Because like 1 now doesn't look all that bad, right? Because like the reason why it was an issue before was because the dithering to static was too close, right? It was too intrusive. Now, and that was because like the intensity of the static was directly tied to the brightness. Now we have something that's a little bit different, right? Like it still is, but it has more of the existence of the static is tied to the distance around the player, right? So being able to stand still is something that is quite nice. Being able to push out, standing still, being able to push out the static via, standing still, yada yada yada, etc., etc., etc. There's a few things that I want. There's like a few things that I want it to feel like. For one, I still want to do the step counter, right? For one, I still want to be able to. Wait, is it? The 5th? What fucking day is it, dog? Yo. What day is it? Oh, it is the 6th. I need to... I need to deal with the... So the instructions, I want to handle things. I want to deal... Because, like, I want to have... Because being able to, like, set the instructional stuff and everything, like, all that's gonna be something that I gotta do. Right. Um... My mouth be watering. My mouth watering some of that. Can't possibly be because I'm consuming way too much fucking caffeine. 6 scoops of coffee in a single cup. Wee! Fuck that, dog. No, Sky. Come here, Sky. There you go. There you go. Let's go. So... Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm just kind of, I don't know. So I do want to have a dev panel. Alright, like I want to have... Because, like, I want to have a dev panel. I want to have... And, like, I want a lot of these things to be... Because, like, I want a dev panel. I want to have... It's like, I don't know if I want it to be this bright, per se. Because, like, this is pretty bright. I mean, granted, in full screen, it's... like, fine. The 3 frames per second is not fine. So I don't know if I want to keep... Because, like, I can do... Yeah, Hazard 4. Stuffs. Fuck. I needs a thing. I mean, I could do that. Right. Like, as long as the magnitude of the velocity is greater than 0, like, start playing the doobly-doo with the doobly jam. I mean, kind of. Right? Because it's a little bit more complicated than that. Because it's not, like, it is normalized. Like, it does need to be normalized. But also not really. It just, the magnitude of the vector needs to be clamped. Right. And that is a fairly trivial thing. Because all that you need to do is say you normalize the vector and then you multiply by the magnitude. You know, clamping the magnitude. So I also still have absolutely zero clue what this curve actually looks like, right? All that I know is that it's doing mostly what it is that I want, right? So which I guess is cool. So screen, right? So create text. Yeah, that's the floor texture. I want some other stuff, right? Because, like, I need to have, I need to make sure. Because I want to make sure that there is some way of either being able to mark a room or something. Because there needs to be some sense of progress, right? If I just have this whole space, then it's very difficult for players to understand exactly where it is that they've been before, right? It's hard for them to navigate and find things. In the original, in the very, very first one, I keep fucking clipping my damn audio. It's absolutely frustrating. Ah! Anyway, in the very, very first version, that was mostly fine, right? It wasn't meant to be a very long experience. You're just playing it for a very short period of time, and like that was it. So, like, that was fine. That was fine, but it wasn't a very. It's not very conducive to new versions, to new systems, to new stuff, right? I want a longer experience than just 5-10 minutes, right? The walking speed is a very nice speed. I like that slow, deliberate, methodical system. The only problem is, it is the time until next choice, right? And if the results of every choice is effectively identical, then there is no choice, right? And then the novelty of exploration wears thin very quickly. So like there are a few different ways of doing things. For one, you can have you could effectively have like a texture that you know, as a player spends time in a certain area, things occur, right? Things happen. Like the static starts to like there's a few different because one could do because one could do because I'm not entirely sure how I want to do it, right? Because like how am I gonna actually pull it off, right? Like, how's it actually gonna work? Like that's the big question. Because I want there to be a bit of a like a change, right? I want there to be a little bit of a differential. I want there to be either staying in one place too long is bad, becomes uncomfortable, right? Or because if that is persistent, then I could do that on a tile for tile basis, right? Where the fidelity of this space starts to break down. So you have your initial space, and then as like at least on the floor, I think maybe like the floor and the walls, maybe. Or I can make it so that as that gets bigger and bigger and bigger, like if you stay in one place for too long, like it will start to spill into the neighboring cells and stuff, right? I don't know exactly how I want to do that though. Because I'm not entirely sure exactly how I want to manage the because I'm not entirely sure how I want to manage certain things, right? And again, like all this is also hinging on whether or not I can actually make tungsten. Because I want to write tungsten. I want to make tungsten a reality. Because there's certain things with the memory management that I just want to fucking deal with. Because it being a systems language with the ideology of being able to make games, or making games as a benchmark, is really fucking powerful. Like that's super useful to do. Right. Because Rust is kind of dog shit. Fucking hate Rust. Rust sucks. It's overhyped. Same thing with Python. Like, Python is overhyped too. Right? Like, just fucking use Lua. Lua is better. Lua is better in all forms. Except for one index. Right? So... yeah. Um... So, what is it that I want to... Ah, my eyeball! My eyeball! uh... Alright, so... So I feel like having that debug system, having a solid debugger is going to be very, very important, right? Because I don't necessarily want to have like a thing. I mean, the easiest way of doing it, right, is I could have something like a toml, like a toml, something like that, like a config file. Because I could do like a config file and have those dials and knobs immediately. That would be really pleasant. That'd be really nice. I could do... So, let's see here. Let's do one. See what this is like. See, this is way too harsh, right? Alright, this is way too harsh. I like how harsh like the back wall is, like the distance. Like I like it being at one, at distance one, rather than yeah, like the fall off of one. Um, so fall off. I mean, where the damn shit? There we go. Okay. So I could do that. Alright. And then I can also do so here the fall off rate needs to be different. Right? Because like this is pretty nice, I feel like. I mean, it's really close though. Right? This is like super close. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like how close that is. I don't know if I like how minimal this is, right? I do. Man, this came out so fucking good. Yeah, this came out really good. Yeah, and also just like being able to release the release the mouse is super nice. Like I put a lot of work into that. This is a tiny little thing of being able to release the mouse. It's not a trivial task. Okay, so I think I like that, right? Because I want the sense of safety because it can be dark and still feel safe, right? I could do there's like a few things, right? Like having that sense of chaos and so around the player should feel mostly safe, right? And I feel like it does, right? Because like the noise is very minimal around the player. I can make it so that like it's even more so, right? Um, so minus fog. One minus fog. Because I want the yeah, because there's like a clamp situation here, right? Like, that's something that I need to keep in mind. Because this is 1 minus... I feel like I should have a different entropy system. Right? Because I want it to be... minus entropy. Right? Let's do an actual fucking entropy, right? Let's do a... float in float dist. Noise 5 is... It does take a float, right? So what I could do is as a entropy D. One of the things that we could do is we could just say, for one, we could just say return 1 minus dist divided by 4. Alright. We could do something along that line. Alright, and we could just like say what, see what that looks like. See, this is interesting. Here, it's reverse. It's not what we... That's pretty fascinating, though. ¿Por qué? Alright. Well, I mean, we could do a clamp. Alright, clamp. 0, 1. Right. We can say dist plus dist, dist minus, well, I mean, what we want is dist minus, what, 1.1 dot 0 1, right? Clamp it. And then we could do all that stuff. So we could do that. And then we can say right. So we can have very dark rooms. That's fine. We can have dark rooms. Like we are allowed to have dark rooms. That's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine, right? We can have dark rooms. We can have, you know, low visibility. Like, low visibility is fine. Like, I'm okay with low visibility. Alright. And then we can also mess with the actual curve itself. You know, we can have that be so that immediately where you are standing is fine. You know, I do like having because like if the camera is pulled back a little, then you have, if the camera is pulled back a little, then it looks like you're kind of like leaning around and being, it makes it feel like you're being reserved with how closely you are inspecting things, right? So there's that. We also want to have, we could do, what happens if we say, this times dist. Well, we could do a power, right? We could do power dist divided by 4, 2, right? Right. You could do that. So that's like more rampy dampy. Clamp it. It's a little bit more harsh. I feel like something along these lines, maybe. Possibly. Right. I would really like more little crickly cracklies in the audio. I think I could do that by, it would be really nice if I could do actual audio generation at runtime, because I want the crackles to be like actually generative. I'll just need to like kind of sit down and think about what kinds of situations like so the harsh on off, that 1 bit is incredibly harsh on the X. Like, it is very abrasive. So when we have that 1 bit, we have like this weird 1 bit radius, and that kind of feels like a wall, right? And that's something that would be kind of interesting, because we could do a few different situations, right? Because we could also update the DDA algorithm to be able to increase systems. I'll have to kind of like sit down and think about it, because I would really like there to be, so understanding where the player has been and kind of formulating what that means is a little bit important. I want to encourage the player to continue to move, right? I want there to be a feeling of anywhere but here, right? That staying still is bad, right? Because I want, right, the reason why is because having like a little bit of a respite, I want the respite to be moving, changing area, going into a new area. I want that to be the respite. stopping and doing nothing should be what is bad, right? So how do we manage that? So there's two different ways of encouraging exploration. One way is gaining ground, right? That is how that is how games like a lot of idle games or Power Wash Simulator, right? Or Virtual Cleanup or whatever the fuck it's called, right? Where you have everything is bad and you are making it better. Right. Like that's one way of handling it, right? So here, what we see is we have effectively like this wall, this horizon of extra bad. But I also want to make it so that wherever you are, wherever you is, it's just as bad, if not worse, right? So standing in one location is also bad. Generating a map overlay, right? Because we could do like a little bit of a map overlay. Which would be some kind of like float value. Right. I don't know if because I want the encoding to be something like a 32-bit float. Well, I mean, like 3 channel for that. That's a lot of fucking information. Because I only need, because I just need it to be a height, right? I mean, I could just send it as a height map, right? A single channel image. Because if I could do single channel image, a 32 float, right, in R32F, then that would be perfect. But that's still the same bit width as in RGBA. Right. And RGBA and 8 RGBA I is the same bit width as R32F. RGBA 8i is the same bit width as R32F. So I guess just the same. Because 32 bits per channel is huge, right? But I want it to be normalized between 0 and 1. Or it could be something else entirely, right? Also, like, there's different kinds of ideas, because I could do... Because, like, to be honest, I have some ideas for, like, fixed point arithmetic would be nice. I don't necessarily want... Because, like, for the full, like, for Starforge, I actually want to use fixed point notation. Because effectively, you would have your 32-bit integer location on the ring. Maybe even 64-bit. I don't think 64-bit is going to be necessary. I think 32-bit is going to be plenty. I mean, it also doesn't fucking matter because I could also use an entirely new additional bit width of 32 bits for the chunk index, right? Because like your position will be stored as chunk index, then internal, and within that chunk. and then within that block. Right? So like it'll be 32-bit integer, multiplication and shit like that, right? And then it's just a bunch of bit hackery bullshit and yada yada yada, bunch of shit, right? Because to like divide and multiply and all that stuff, you just like do some bit shifting and do integer stuff, and it's like super fast, really really fast. And I think that would be more than fun. Granted, so that's just like positional stuff, and then a lot of that stuff would end up being converted into floating point numbers because graphics cards like floating point numbers, right? There would also be a little bit of precision drift in like the ray casting and things like that. So like that's a thing because it's just going to be additive. So the delta will, so like yeah, there's a lot of things that I want to be able to maintain and be able to like understand what the like the error, being able to track error is going to be very difficult to do because it also depends on like how quickly the error is going to grow. Like when is it going to be noticeable, right? Things like that, right? So I also need to have footsteps. What day of the week is it? Monday? Oh. Fucking hell. Ow. Alright. So, yeah, I think I like this. I like this. Right? Because that kind of feels like a wall that you're pushing back. Yeah, so there's two different ways of encouraging people to explore. One is explore equals good, right? That's what that is the fundamentals of Power Wash Simulator, right? Because there you are gaining ground. Right? In Power Wash Simulator you are actively gaining ground. Everything is bad. And it is your job to make it not bad. Right? And that just like helps. Right. How the fuck did my shit go even higher? Huh? Eh? Okay, fucking whatever, dude. Right. So that's how Power Wash Simulator works. Is that everything is bad. Your job is to make it not bad. Then there is exploration is good because just like this sense of everywhere but here. And I don't know if there's a game that really does that. Right? Like I haven't necessarily seen a game go, like even attempt to go the everywhere but here route. Because games like Skyrim, it's goal based, right? It is goal based. Minecraft does a very bad job of encouraging exploration, because exploring is no different. Because exploring is functionally no different than just starting a new world, right? So you find that people stay in the same spot quite a bit. And it's just the only reason why you want to explore is to find villages. But early game, if you don't spawn right next to a village, then you just restart and start a new map, right? The attachment to a singular world is very limited. I think Vintage Story handles exploration, encouragement of exploration, because like in say Stationeers, right? Stationeers, you are encouraged to explore only to gather resources. Same thing with Factorio, right? Where you spawn is where you stay. Like always. You spawn at home base, and then you just expand out of there. That is different. That is functionally very different than exploration. Right? Because all that you're doing is you're just trying to gain ground and consume the world. Right? So that's how those games handle exploration. But I don't really think that there's very many games that handle exploration by saying, that say standing still is bad, right? It's always standing still is not as good as moving, right? So I feel like leaning into the unease of staying in a single place might be beneficial, right? Like that might be something that I would want to do. Because if I make it so that staying in one place is not only not as good, but also actively bad, right? Because I want players to explore into the space, right? And horror games are a good platform to subvert normal game design, right? Horror games are an excellent platform to subvert regular game design, largely because of the fact that you have just an entirely different, platform. You have a completely different set of rules. The whole point of a horror game is to make the player uneasy. That is the purpose of a horror game. So you can, it's to build tension, to release tension. This feeling that you want to make the player uneasy about the situation that they find themselves in. Right? That is the entire point of a horror game, is to give a sense of unease. Right? That is the purpose. So then what are some things that I can work, right? Because the game itself is incredibly basic. Right, like it is stupid basic. Incredibly, very, very basic. And that's kind of the point. Right. Like the whole point of it is that it is basic, simple, bare bones. So I want and also on top of all this, like, how hard is it going to be for me to write things in LLVM? Right. Like, how is it? Like, what kinds of things am I going to be doing? Because, like, I want to write my own compiler. Or, I want to write a compiler for Tungsten. And that's not exactly going to be easy. Right. So yeah. Can I last another 25, 26, 25, 24 minutes? Okay. So, what is it? So, for this last 24 minutes, I need to come up with what dials I want to create, right? And not just what dials, but also the platform in which I want the dials to exist. Because there's a few things, right? I want the this week I want to dial in a little bit of it, right? Because I want to get, even with a really basic, shittily handmade map, I want that to be engaging. Because if I can make a shitty map engaging, then I can make a procedurally generated map engaging, right? And that's kind of like the thing. So one of the things that I can do, because like it might be interesting to have a thing where, because like it's a little bit hard to come up with like I think I'm going to be looking into how to find the longest distance in a, like the widest, the farthest distance in a graph, right? That is something that I feel would be interesting. I'm not entirely sure if I could do that well. Also, like identifying rooms and stuff, because the proc gen stuff is going to be a little bit difficult. So yeah, because like I don't know, like how would you do like a flood fill? Like how would you? Let's go into. So say we have right, say we have a bunch of nodes, right? Um, so we want to find the longest distance. We can also do maybe a little bit of cleanup like this, maybe. Something a little bit more chaotic. We want to find the furthest distance. So one thing that we could do is so something like you, because I think there was like a really elegant way of doing it, and that is something along the lines of given some arbitrary graph, you you find the farthest distance from you pick an arbitrary starting point, right? Literally doesn't fucking matter where. I'm being a little bit pedantic here, but say you start literally anywhere, right? So here we have, 0. We have 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. Alright. And then from here, we erase all but one of whichever one is the highest. Alright. And then here we start with 0. Alright. Hello. Thank you. Alright. So we have a 0. And then we go 1, 1, 2, 2, buddy, broski. 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. And then I think this is like the longest that it can possibly be. Right? Or this is like one of the longest that it can be. Because that was like what, here and here. So 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. Okay. So what we end up with is that the longest route is here, 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 here. So you start anywhere. You spread out. You pick one of those sides. You spread out and you find the farthest distance from any given point. Right? And then you start there and then find the farthest distance. And you have the farthest distance. Right? And that is and that's how you find the farthest spanning tree. And then what you could do so there are so we have that way. We have that solved. The next part that needs to be solved is we can say say we have our space, right? And then what we do is we just say, I want to go up, right? And then we can say, well, let's do this a little bit different. Let's do big fat ones, right? So we pick some point, and then we go, well, actually, that's not what we want, right? We want this one. Pick somewhere on the outside. We go up some arbitrary level. Then we say pick some other spot, and we go some arbitrary length, right? And then we pick some other spot and go some arbitrary length. I fucking hate that shit. Doo-da, doo-da. Hope I get away with it. Doo-da-doo-da day, right? And again, we pick some other arbitrary spot. And we go. Until we either hit a wall or we decide to stop. Then we pick some other random spot until we hit a wall or decide to stop. Pick some other random wall, and we go until we either hit a wall or decide to stop. And then we can also, you know, do that here. Right. Here. Here. Right. And then we just kind of keep doing this. Until right. Then you have some kind of set of things like this, right? And then you simply just make and then you just simply make, you know, you just cut out random, you know, entrances, right? And everything. Right. Until everything is reachable, right? You can do like a flood fill check, basically, to make sure that everything is actually reachable, and all that jazz, doobly jazz, and crap, whatnot. Right? You just make sure that everything is actually reachable by everything, and everything's all good, right? You literally just do that with a flood fill. So and then there you go. Now you have a randomly generated level. So that is one way of doing it. It is not the only way of doing it. right? Um, right. So that is kind of the overall idea that I think that we're going to go for. Um, I've got the static fall off. I think what I want to do is create a better a better debug system, right? Because I also don't necessarily want to have um, well, actually, what I can do is just say, hey, I can do this, and then I can say, bloop, haha. There you go. Right. Um, yeah. So we have all these systems in place and all this stuff here. So we yeah. So randomly generated level. Bam boom, Bob's your uncle, it's done. Right? Um so also, like, I don't know what the end case is, right? Like, do I just do this a certain number of times? Do I do this, like, until there's a certain density? You know, keep going until, like, until it is less than 75% room? 1 in 4? 1 in, like, 1%? 10%? Right? Like, what? You know. There's, like, a lot involved in that. So, I don't know what kind of, like, end condition I should maintain. Product gen is kind of a colossal pain, right? There's a massive amount of work that goes into figuring out these kinds of algorithms and systems and stuff. It's not exactly a trivial. It's not exactly a you know a trivial problem. Um, like there is a reason why there has been a lot of research into procedural generated content. Um, like Perlin did a lot of really awesome work in that regard. Because of you know his work in computer graphics. Um, yeah. So like there's a lot that goes into that, right? There is a lot that goes into it. So yeah. Um, but yeah. So I don't know if because I really do like having wonky and odd shaped walls and stuff. So I don't know what else kind of algorithm that I could do. It can be kind of difficult to do like the growth algorithm. I feel like the growth algorithm can be done in a few different ways. Because I could do it with rectangles. Right? Like just the perimeter of rectangles instead of the fill of rectangles. That might be a way to do it. At which point then, like I won't have to worry about getting these areas, right? I won't have to worry about like these areas here. Right. So, like that's something to keep in mind. So I could do the, I mean, I don't necessarily hate the oboe and dog-legged rooms. Like I feel like that should be fine and perfectly reasonable to have. Like I feel like that should be something that may not necessarily be like strictly prohibited. I feel like having things be a little bit sterile might not necessarily be the worst thing in the world. But I think streaming for like exactly 3 hours is probably going to be a good one. So yeah, I am gonna end it here. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm gonna go get myself some food, some noms, get things going. Hope all of you take care of yourself. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And if you're watching this from YouTube, you can join me on Twitch or not. Meh. I can't make you, I can't force you. But I also hope that you have a good day too. And yeah. Thank you for being here. Bye.